So I got these 3 different objects at a thrift store, and I'm going to show you how to coat them with concrete. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. So I got this stool for $5 at the thrift store, like I said, and I wanted it a little bit shorter, so I marked where I want it to cut it. And I thought, sure, I have a miter saw that will work perfectly. It feels very sketchy. It was pretty sketchy, but just lifted up the guard and then cut on through to the other side. And I don't have a ruler. This ruler was wood, which was nice because I just cut it right at the length I wanted each leg, and then I could just mark it. Boom, boom, boom. I probably should have done that at the beginning, but you know, better late than never is what I always say. So just made sure to cut it right there on the line, and then did that to all 4 legs. Boom, boom, boom. Done with the miter saw, and took some sandpaper and just laid it flat on the ground and tried to make all the legs even. Then I just put a coat of this clear glaze on, and then while it's still sticky, I was going to add some drywall tape. I got this idea from Lone Fox, shout out to him. Made this cute little stucco table, and we're going to do it with concrete. So let's put that all over my stool, and on the edges I cut off the excess, put little slices in it so that it would bend over the round edges. Then I hit it with the spray paint again so it would stay in place. So it's not super sticky on itself. So again, add it to the edge, or add it to the leg. Cut little slits on the part that goes around, cut off completely on the side that is a corner. Then I cut a little like circle in it so it fit right there where the stool had the little bar in it. We're gonna call it a bar. So now I just need to do the other 3 legs. Womp, did it. Got it all over the bars. I don't like bar. I don't like that as the word, but whatever. And yeah, I'm just gonna cover the entire entire stool with this tape. Make sure that I have in all the spots, especially there on the edge. And with that, I wanted to try it on glass, so I was gonna do this little vase. And again, I was spraying it with that spray paint in between things. I just didn't want to show it because it was taking forever to film. And on that note, this lamp, we're gonna cover it off camera. Nice. And do the same thing to the lampshade. Ooh. Wow, awesome. So with them all covered, next thing what we have to do is add the concrete. So you can get this concrete, it's like this vinyl concrete that's used to do thin layers, that way that it won't crack. Like it's kind of like a repair concrete. And so I just put some on it and then just smushed it all over, making sure it was nice and thick. Nice and thick. I could like leave it kind of textured, but I wanted it pretty smooth, and so I just put it on and then use the spatula to get it as smooth as I could. I used my finger in some places. I guess this first coat, I'm going to do multiple coats, spoiler alert, but this first coat is just to try to get it as much, or all over as much as possible. And so I did the whole entire thing except for the bottom of the legs. I didn't do those because I wanted to set it down on those to dry. So make sure it's nice and covered all the way, and with that, kind of smooth it off a little bit, let it dry, clear off the table so I have a little spot to do this face. Same thing, just take the spatula and rub on all the concrete. Good job. And I did like the texture that the spatula was doing. I kind of wish I would have just left it like that. You'll see later that I like smoothed it out and sanded it down. But I think it'd be cool to like leave those strokes in it. It could be a cool texture. For this, I just found this spray paint and thought maybe that would work. But when I did it, it like wasn't really that much of a concrete effect that I wanted. So I added gray, but it turned out to be silver. And to fix that, I'm like, oh, I'll just sprinkle the powdered concrete on top there. And it worked so well that I thought maybe I should have done that on all of these. And I wouldn't have even needed the drywall tape, mesh tape. Anyways, so that's where it's saying I started smoothing it out. Once I got a little dry, I could smooth it out and then get back to work on the lamp. I added more of that. Kind of got frustrated with the old spatula, so I just used my fingers to get it on there. And that worked pretty well to just like mush all of that concrete on there and then smooth it out with the spatula afterwards. And now, time to do the lampshade. So on this little part here with the bar, thought if I sprayed it with some clear spray paint, add the dry, and then sprayed again with this spray paint, maybe that would work. Seemed like it worked pretty well. I'm gonna let that dry and just coat the outside and inside of this lampshade. That is that it gets nice and thick and it looks like it's actually made out of stone and isn't just like, I don't know, like I don't know, because I feel like you can get like the wallpaper that looks like it's concrete, but I wanted this to feel like it was actually like casted in concrete, so I wanted it kind of thick. So with it dry, I went and sanded it down to make it nice and flat and even, and did the same thing to all the other pieces. And I saw like after I did it, you could start to see the mesh underneath, so I'm gonna have to do another coat, another layer. But for now, I'm just gonna keep on sanding off all these things to make them nice and even and smooth as I want them. I want them pretty smooth. I like them nice and smooth. That's my song. That is like it nice and smooth. So after I got them smooth, I coated it with some sort of like fixative to hold it in place. That was like a Mod Podge spray that was matte. This seemed to work pretty well. The next one I wanted to try was like actually a concrete cure and seal. This is stuff that I use to make my concrete coffee table. It works really well. Also like kind of cures it. So I did that on the lampshade and it was making like this cracking effect. I kind of wish that I would have kept. But well, the next one is just Elmer's glue and water. And again, that worked pretty well to do what I need to do. This is just basically like hold the concrete in place and like kind of adhere to itself so it doesn't crack and holds to the mesh. So after that got dry, I added another layer to all the things to kind of cover up some of the mistakes and also make it nice and thick and get it the texture that I wanted. So using my hands to get it all over. And then for this one, I wanted to try the spray paint method. So where you just use some spray paint, some dry concrete, then you spray over it again, and just do it over and over again. And it worked really well. I kind of want to see if this would work without the mesh. I'll do that at the end of the video. Oh, and then I hit it with some water. And then once that dried, I just coated it with some matte spray paint or like matte chalk spray paint, which seemed to work the best. So with that all done, I went and hit it with sandpaper again. And you can see here on the vase, it gave it kind of like that texture that looked like it was actually rock. So I want to see if that like spray painting and dry cement would work without the mesh, but before I do. Alright, so super huge thanks to today's sponsor, Squarespace. I love them. I talk about it all the time because I love them. They have everything you could possibly need to sell anything you can possibly think of. So whether you have a digital physical product, maybe you're gonna sell some of your time, content, or your story, they have all the tools you need to get that rolling. You have a skill, you have something that other people could benefit from knowing how to do or from your service. So Squarespace has the tools for managing your reservations and your schedules, so you can spend less time like doing like the nitty-gritty stuff like booking and more time helping out your customers. So that's more for like hospitality and appointment-based businesses. But also when it comes to like your skills, like your content or something that you could teach to someone else. Squarespace has member areas. I actually set up my member area a little bit ago where people can have exclusive content, access to my access to my personal friends list on Instagram, and much, much more. And they made it super easy so that I could literally, I think I set that up in like one night, and immediately created a space where people who want to be more involved with me can do that easily and receive extra goodies. And also it helps me get a passive income so I can spend less time stressing out and more time just doing what I love, which is making content. So Squarespace has made it super easy to turn classes, blogs, podcasts, and videos and more into new revenue streams. So while I've been talking, you probably thought about something that you could create, some sort of website that you could build, and you can actually do that right now for free, no credit card needed, by going into the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/smooth. Start creating that website today. I don't really like how I did that. You can start creating that website today, and then when you do decide to purchase something, website, domain, whatever, remember to use the coupon code SHMOOD to get 10% off that first purchase. So cool. So I just took this plastic bottle just as a tester, sprayed it with the spray paint, the clear matte spray paint, put on the dry concrete, then hit it again with the spray paint. Oh, I just squoke. I'm a squeaky boy lately, going through second puberty. And then I sanded it a little bit to try to make it even. Then I even hit it with the concrete sill, and then hit it with sandpaper again, and then with some chalk. And honestly, I feel like it did a really good job. It wasn't like the same texture and it wasn't as thick, but it definitely gave off the appearance of concrete. So that's an option. But if you want it to look nice and thick, I feel like using the drywall mesh tape was a good thing. So I just hit these with some chalk to kind of make it look like it was a little rough or a little worn. And yeah, it looks really good. So I'm actually going to take these and stage them at my house with my pups and my cat. I turned that cat into concrete. The cat kind of looks like it's coated in concrete. Honestly, pretty stoked with how these turned out. I feel like I don't really know where I would actually put that lamp, but the vase looks really rad. I feel like that goes almost anywhere. And then I have a cute little Spanish moss growing out of that. And then as for the stool, it's gonna be a cute little plant holder in my house somewhere. So that's fun. So there's a pretty quick, it wasn't super quick, but it was super easy upcycle way to turn any object or coat any object with concrete. So cool. Alright, so be sure to like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification. And yeah, if you want to be a schmooty pie and get your name on my video here at the end, just go to my website.